Hello everyone, my name is Thalia Putri and I'm from 2021 sequence and I'm going to present review text. The text that I use is titled Defining 21st Century Skills. The genre is discussion. Why did I conclude to that point? Because on the beginning of the text, on abstract, it is stated that the paper concludes with a discussion of challenges to be addressed. And the second one is discussion have characteristic that is it has to have 2 point of views and which did this text have it. So I think this text is discussion. Here are some of the text structure. The first is arguments. Arguments for points. Schools and teachers tend to focus on what is tested rather than underlying standards or learning goals and to ignore what is not tested. Focusing on the test rather than underlying learning may encourage a one-time performance orientation and transmission type teaching. Instructional teaching time is diverted to specific test preparation activities. And here are some of the elaboration for the arguments before. Both the broader domain of the tested disciplines and important subjects that are not tested may get short shrift. When doing well on the test, rather than learning becomes the goal, schools may unwittingly promote a performance orientation in students, which in turn can work against students' engagement and persistence in learning. And here is some of argument against the point before, also elaborating the arguments. Carefully crafted, they can model next generation assessments that through design and use support learning. To do so, our review to this point suggests that 21st century standards and assessment should be aligned with the development of significant 21st century goals. Assessment that support learning must explicitly communicate the nature of expected learning. And the second one, incorporate adaptability and unpredictability. Be largely performance-based and add value for teaching and learning. Make students' thinking visible. The assessment should provide a window into students' understanding and the conceptual strategies students use to solve a problem. Be fair and generate information that can be acted upon and provides productive and usable feedback for all intended users. The conclusion of this text is, if carefully crafted, 21st century skills can model next generation assessment through design and support learning also appropriate for students and schools. Here are the significant lexicogrammatical features. Focus on generic human and generic non-human participants and use of material process. For example, incorporate adaptability and unpredictability is the need to adapt to evolving circumstances and to make decisions and take action in situations. The second one, in the United States, England, and other countries, tests tend to give relatively little attention to complex thinking and problem solving. The third one is valid for purpose to the extent an assessment is intended to serve as an indicator of school success in helping students. Relational process. The first one, and to ignore what is not tested. The second one, it seems axiomatic that if stakeholders, for example, teachers and administrators, students and parents, and the public, There are the language features. The first one that it has simple present continuous. Subject, be, and is are, verb ing, and also it has simple present tense. Quoting from the text. This paper synthesized research on the role of standards and assessment in promoting learning, verb ing, describes the nature of assessment systems that can support changes in practice, verb 1, illustrates the use of technology to transform assessment systems and learning, verb ing, and propose a model for assessing, verb ing, 21st century skills. The second one, that it is using present perfect continuous tense. Has, have been, the present participle root plus ing. There has been a significant shifting verb ing in advances economies from manufacture to emphasis of information and knowledge services. The benefit of reading this text is knowing definition and details about 21st century skills, getting to know the benefit about the said skills, and get info about how to improve the said skills. The arguments also make us think critically whether we agree with the opinion or not. The challenges in using assessment to promote 21st century skills. According to the text, schools and teachers tend to focus on what is tested rather than underlying standards or learning goals, and to ignore what is not tested. Focusing on the tests rather than underlying learning may encourage a one-time performance orientation and transmission type teaching. Also, instructional teaching time is diverted to specific test preparation activities. The critic is, this text is good, and it is detailed as well, but it feels like it is too detailed. The title is Defining 21st Century Skills, but it is explaining so many things that some of the things explained feels off or either irrelevant to 21st century skills. That is all from me. Thank you.